Another winning streak for our New Orleans Saints takes us to Monday Night Football against the LA Rams, the Super Bowl champions of last season. Matthew Stafford, of course, leading the charge for that LA Rams football team. Of course, they have a ton of weapons on this offense. They've got some pretty good defensive players, but we are kind of lucking out here. We don't have to play against Jalen Ramsey or Cooper Kupp. They're both sidelined for at least another week, so we may have gotten a little bit lucky here in this Monday Night Football matchup. So we're going to start here with the football. Alvin Kamara going to be rushing this thing all the way up to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 10. So good way to start running the football against this very tough defense. And you can see how tough it is. Michael Thomas trying to get this pass completed, but big hit to knock the ball loose. So only one first down in that drive, and the Saints got to punt the football away. So the Rams and Stafford, first down and 10 from the 38, go to the 47, 2nd and 1. Stafford getting some pressure put on him, but up the middle, that pass is completed to Van Jefferson. He makes some tacklers miss as he gets some extra yardage there. Little misdirection here by Stafford. He's going to end up handing this football off, and out the middle they go for only a couple yards. 2nd down and 5, pass completed. No, incomplete in the end zone. That's a nice job by Demario Davis to knock the football loose, so we live to fight another down. Got to bring pressure on Stafford. He slides to his left, and wide open is Allen Robinson for the touchdown. Former Chicago Bear and Jacksonville Jaguar. One of my favorite wide receivers, actually. So I'm surprised he's out here in L.A. catching passes from Matthew Stafford. Some things you never thought would ever happen, right? Pass completed here up the middle. Jameis, fire into the end zone. Wide open is Jarvis Landry. You got to love that play call right there. Landry in the back of the end zone. Nobody accounted for him to get back there, I guess. So touchdown, New Orleans, and we tied this baby up here. Second quarter, about 6:55. We're bringing pressure here with Gardner Johnson, and then, oh, turn around there. Marshawn Lattimore picks off Matthew Stafford, and Lattimore has only got a couple guys to beat. It's the offensive lineman plus Van Jefferson. He's going to get into the end zone again. This dude is nutso this season. It's insane. How many interceptions does this guy have now? 8? 9? He's like almost going to double his career mark in INTs in a single season. Insanity. So we get up on the Rams 14-7 here late in the second quarter, and they are now first down and goal at the 4. We stop him in the backfield, pushing Cam Akers backwards. 6-yard line. Running to the right is Darrell Henderson Jr. Touchdown Rams. That's a tough run, but he's a tough running back to bring down. Unfortunately, we didn't maintain our gaps very well right there. Pass completed out here to the right. That's Deontay Hardy making the catch. Going to get 8. So 1:04. Winston got to make a play. Bomb to the right. That's Michael Thomas. Missed tackle, and Thomas is gone. Struts himself into the end zone. Yeah, everybody likes that route apparently. Crossers, PA crossers, or just in general verticals or crossers. But you got to get your guys in space, man. Against the Rams, you got to pull out all the stops. So we take the lead back again, 14-21. But Marcus May actually, wow, he got his ankles busted. But, oh, talk about being busted. Van Jefferson just got lit up on the sideline, and he fumbled the football. So Marcus May's like, oh, you going to do me dirty like that on that move? Oh, on that route? Take that. Football somehow stays in bounds, and the Saints recover it. Here's a risky pass up the middle, but Jarvis Landry with the catch. And with an extra time, we got 3 timeouts. We call this thing with 2 seconds, and we nail it. So Will Lutz does a job, and we're going into halftime with a pretty substantial lead. I like this. Taking on the Super Bowl champs, up 24-14, up by 10. We can't get really the running game going. It's very difficult with that D-line, with Aaron Donald, of course, being a presence in there. So you got to try to throw the football on these guys, especially without Jalen Ramsey. So let's just utilize that if we can. The Stafford incomplete pass here, missing his man way right, and then deep in the end zone. That pass was caught initially, but a big hit's going to knock it loose. Now, I don't know if they're going to do any shenanigans here, but field goal's up and good. So, dude, that's so far away. It's almost near the 50-yard marker. My God. Just absolutely drilled to get 3 points up on the board. We threaten, but pass incomplete. We'll have to kick a field goal as well. So we do get the 3 points back. It's still a 10-point lead. 27-17, and Gardner Johnson misses a tackle. Roby is there to protect the end zone. Van Jefferson with another grab. They're going to get to the 2-yard line. Good defense. Nice job by our defensive line and linebackers getting presence, getting pushed into the backfield. 3-yard line, and oh, the fumble! That's what I'm talking about. This Saints defense, man. We are one of the best in the NFL in this series, at least as far as turning the football over. Interceptions galore. That's probably what we do best. Haven't seen a lot of fumble recoveries, but man, what a job by our defense, and what a throw there by Jameis Winston. Moving the ball. Got to take a big hit. He knew he was going to get walloped, but still delivered a pass on time. And that's going to move the chains. Here's Mark Ingram finally checking in for a couple plays, and on a screen pass, he's going to fumble the football. So we got possession of the ball with a fumble ourselves, and we turn it back over to LA. But fortunately, they will review this, and it looked like the knee was down before the elbow. Either way, the ground did cause the fumble, and Mark Ingram, we're going to trust him with the ball yet again. He picks up the first down. Need a big-time score here. Need a big-time play. 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. Kamara juking his man. And going to get about 5, I believe. Anyway, going to get out of bounds. But take a look at the team sack totals by the Rams. They have 1 today. They are the #1 team in the NFL with sacks. So it's very surprising that we decided not to run the football until late in this football game. So, you know, as much as we've passed it, we've only had 1 sack given up on Jameis Winston so far tonight. 3rd down and 12. Taysom Hill, pass completed to the right. Now at the 8-yard line. 3rd down and goal. We're going to fire here short of the end zone, but oh man, so close was Jarvis Landry for getting in. Now it's gut check time. What do we decide to do here? We could put this thing away with a touchdown. Granted, a field goal makes this thing a 13-point game. Go up 30-17. So, you know, a 13-point lead, I like that, but it's not safe with 4 minutes in Stafford with the football, right? So I'm thinking touchdown here. Let's go with our fullback and show him a little bit of love. That is Prentice. Get into the end zone. Come on, baby. Let's drain some clock here. Trying to get into the end zone. We can't do it. Just that defensive line is just too tough. But positive side, if we got the touchdown, great. If we didn't, Stafford's got to go 99 yards to get a touchdown with 3 minutes left in the game. Kind of like those odds, but Stafford's definitely going to move his troops down the field here with 1:28. Stafford fires here to the left side. That is another pass complete, and the Rams are now threatening. So this is kind of getting a little concerning, just a little bit. We got 1:10. Stafford fires out to the end zone. That's caught. Looking for the INT. And Tyler Higbee is into the end zone. So an onside kick must be recovered. We're trying to get into onside formation, but luckily, Zach Bond going to recover it here with 1:07, and we will just go ahead and run the football out. They got 1 more timeout left to burn, and Kamara is able to cut up the middle. 1st down, and that is going to do it. That's going to clock it, if you will. That's going to do it. Game over. Saints will win 27-24. A tough, gritty type of performance here today. We did not have to run the football at all, but, you know, hey, Jameis Winston proved to me, and should have proved to you guys out there, he had a clean football game. No turnovers here for Jameis Winston. We made the correct reads on a lot of our throws. He had over an 80%. He had an 80% completion percentage today. 90% actually, 90%. 27 of 30 attempts. 27 completions. When's the last time you saw me do that with no INTs? I think we've finally gotten used to the game. Michael Thomas, 7 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. Jarvis Landry got a touchdown, so we threw all over the Jalen Ramsey-less Rams. And it's kind of funny, Jalen Rams, LA Rams. I'm sorry, there's the dad joke for the day. Dad joke for the day for you guys. TFLs, usual suspects. No sacks on Stafford, but we did get an INT again for Marshawn Lattimore. Rushing yards, we just came underneath the 100-yard marker at 97. I always like to try to get to the 100 marker. That'll get the job done. But we just didn't do it today. Injury report, we did lose Ryan Ramczyk in this game. I did not show the injury update in that, but we did lose him for the game. Onyemata was actually a practice injury, so he was not playing in this game regardless. But Jalen Ramsey injured, as I mentioned, and Cooper Kupp. So we kind of dodged a bullet there, in my opinion. But good win either way. Next up, we do get San Francisco. That'll be in Sunday's episode. So the next episode, guys. We're currently 8-3 against 6-4. So maybe I shouldn't really be worried, but they do have Trey Lance, and we haven't really faced a lot of mobile quarterbacks so far this season. He'd be one of them. And we haven't really had to defend those guys. So I'm a little concerned about that game in particular. But little snapshot here at the standings. Still got the Rams at 7-3. And Jameis Winston, man, 73% completion percentage. So as much as I've gotten ripped for some of the decisions I've made with the football in his hands as far as passing goes, he's still got 73% completion percentage. And he's one of the league leaders in passing yards. So, whatever. Michael Thomas almost nearing 1,000 yards. Receiving has 11 touchdowns on the season, and we'll get a league-wide update as far as statistics go to kind of prove where our offense is at. It's actually one of the better ones across the NFL. So, despite some of our lower scoring games and not really putting the ball into the end zone as often as I'd like to, we're still at one of the league's best, which is actually pretty surprising in some senses, but I love the validation there that what we're doing is working. Take a look at some of our defensive numbers here. We got Cameron Jordan, of course, leading in sacks. We got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out there with a couple sacks. I think he got a sack and a half. But interceptions, 10 for Marshawn Lattimore. That is insane. He's chasing Dick Lane, Detroit Lion. Dick Night Train Lane. Yeah, he's chasing him for the single season interceptions record. So, we've still got a couple games left to go. He could do it. As many INTs as the CPU likes to throw, yeah, Marshawn Lattimore could break the record. But, he's also got 3 defensive touchdowns on the season. That's just crazy for a cornerback. Passing leaders, we got Derek Carr, Brady, Rodgers, Mills. Yeah, believe it or not, Davis Mills. Carson Wentz is in there. Jameis Winston is actually top 6 or 7 in there. So pretty nice to see him top the leaderboard there. Touchdowns, he's actually top 3. So 25 touchdowns right behind Carr and Brady. And then as far as interceptions go, he's one of the worst. That's my fault, obviously. Completion percentage, he does have 73. Brady at 70. So Jameis Winston beating the GOAT as far as completion percentage goes. Now, receiving yards, I mentioned that we've got Michael Thomas just outside the 1,000-yard mark for receiving yards, but he is one of the best in the NFL, and with touchdowns, he is the best. So I love to see that. Now, a couple of the trades, couple of moves that have gone on while we've been simulating and playing these games, just a couple things that have been worth noting is, some trades like Joseph Noteboom for Nick Scott, just nothing really, moving the needle there for me. Juwan James, it's kind of just a move. But this one really caught my eye. Leighton Vander Esch gets traded from Dallas to New England for Ronnie Perkins and Nelson Aguilar. I think the Cowboys got fleeced, and, just in week 2, they basically gave up on the season. But moving forward here, guys, after the end of each of our remaining games, we're going to be doing something kind of fun. We're actually going to be revealing the prospects in our draft class by positional group. So we'll do quarterbacks on Sunday against the 49ers, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends against the Buccaneers, so on and so forth, and basically just talk about these players like Travis Willows, quarterback here for Washington. We'll do Darnell Bourgeois for Southern. We'll talk about maybe Lucas Key from UL Monroe. And it should be pretty fun to see what these guys can do in gameplay as far as highlight reels go. We've seen a couple of them in the Cajun 6 Dynasty, but really what that series is it's taking players, top performing players, including your custom players, and funneling them into the Saints franchise. So it's a cool concept. I really enjoy watching these guys just do CPU versus CPU action and seeing who's going to be kind of a baller, right? Who's going to be a baller in the Saints franchise, really, and just see where these guys start. Now, just as a reminder to you guys, the draft class of 220 players, it's a lot of players to cover. that draft class is still being created. So I'm almost finished up with it. It's a lot of players, it's a lot of dudes to create, but that draft class is actually going to be shared with Heelboy, one of my very loyal viewers. He runs a league, a Madden league called the HFL over on his Twitch channel. And we mentioned this in the very beginning of our series here, the Saints franchise introduction video. And what we explained was that this draft class that I'm creating is actually going to be pushed over to the HFL as well. So if you've got players here that are seniors or high-performing juniors, high overall juniors that are coming over into the Saints franchise draft class, you will also be thrown into the HFL, which you can check out your player in another place. So it's kind of a cool concept. So I hope you guys are excited for the next couple of videos as we talk about our draft prospects, and then we're, of course, with our Saints just trying to make the postseason, man, make the playoffs. We are in a three-headed monster-esque battle in the NFC South with the Panthers, ourselves, and the Buccaneers. So the next couple weeks will be very, very important as far as positioning for the playoffs. So guys, that's it for the video. Leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.